actually played with Prince.
What?
Yeah.
So you wrote this when you were 18, 19, and it had 61 million views on YouTube?
I even did the Carson Daly show.
That's wild.
Never would have imagined. I released my first album in 2001. I went and toured in Taiwan. Josh Groban wanted me on his Christmas album.
This podcast was brought to you by Choose Topeka. If you're thinking about making a move, Choose Topeka can get you up to $15,000 to relocate.
Whether you're buying or renting, Topeka and Shawnee County are ready to welcome you. Apply now at choosetopeka.com. All right, welcome to Topeka Insider. Today, we've got an incredible guitar player named Andy McKee in the studio with us.
Let's go.
Come on, man. Thank
up,
you for
guys?
joining us, man.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thanks for the invite.
We've hit a whole new level, I feel like, of celebrities on this show. with
right.
Andy McKee,
That's
baby.
right,
To
man.
the C list now. No.
Yeah, we're scraping the bottom. No, that's not true at all. That's not true. I've had you on my list since we started this podcast, and I was just like, I don't even know how I would reach out to this guy. And then a few months ago, found your website, just emailed the website. It connected you with like your agent who forwarded it. And man, it's been great. So we're really excited to have you on. You kind of play, you were telling us like a modern style of finger picking guitar.
Yeah, man. I started out really into the electric guitar as a teenager, as most of us do, I guess, when we're teens, we get into electric maybe, but
Shredding like Crazy Train and stuff like that.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Enter Sandman, Metallica, stuff like that. But I switched over to the acoustic after seeing a guy here in Topeka come and do a guitar workshop at the Classic Bean for Washburn Guitars. His name is Preston Reed, and I was just absolutely blown away. I'd never seen anything like it, and I'd always loved instrumental music as a young kid even. So
Really?
Yeah, strangely enough, the first album I ever bought was the soundtrack to Rocky IV.
Okay.
Because I loved that music when he was training. If you remember the movie, he's like in Siberia lifting logs and whatever. I was just like, this music is awesome.
Has the lifting logs also translated with the soundtrack? Are you just really into that?
A little bit. You mean lifting weights or something?
Yeah, lifting,
doing some
training in the woods.
I guess not as much, but it was more the music,
Yeah.
But yeah, so seeing this guy doing instrumental acoustic guitar and he was really covering like rhythm and harmony and melody all at once. I was just like, this is so cool. So that set me on the whole path of trying this solo acoustic guitar stuff.
Wow. Cool. Give us a little bit of your background. You're from Topeka.
Yeah.
Where'd you go to school? How'd you get into guitar?
Yeah, so I was born here in 1979, April 4th, and grew up here. I went to Bishop Elementary School. But when I was, I guess it was 1988, we moved to New Mexico for a little while. And then we moved back up here.
It's the year I was born, by the way.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So yeah, it's a good year. It's
a great year.
Yeah, when we moved back though, I was up in the Washburn Rural District, so they had just built the new middle school there, and started going there, and they actually had a guitar class. That was really my first guitar anything.
Yeah.
So took these guitar classes at the middle school, and I was like, this is great. And I just heard this guitar player, Eric Johnson, on the radio, and I was just amazed at what he was doing. It's instrumental electric guitar mostly, really, really tasty melodic stuff. And, I was 12, 13 years old. I asked my dad for a guitar, so he got me a used nylon string guitar from a pawn shop, and that was what started it for me. But so I played with bands for a little bit, got into electric guitar, and then switched to the steel string after a few years and do the solo thing.
Are we talking like in high school? Like you were in bands in high school?
Yeah.
And okay.
Yeah. Even when I was actually 14, I was playing a lot. I sometimes I'd skip school, to be honest. I wasn't the best student, but I'd be playing guitar. And I had a sister. She would sneak me into that. There was a bar at College Hill called Quincy Magoo's, and she would sneak me in, and I'd get to play with some of the bands.
Wow.
I felt like a rock star already. I was like
cool.
14, had long hair.
Amazing.
So that was kind of how that. Yeah, and I had the band with the guys. We play the Battle of the Bands at high school, and we'd play stuff like Rage Against the Machine and Korn and
Heck yes.
all kinds of stuff like that. So. But
Dude, Rage Against the Machine had the sickest guitar riffs.
Oh, so good.
So iconic.
Man. Yeah. Yeah, I love that's one of the favorite things about.
Do you ever play Guitar Hero? Do you ever play Guitar Hero?
Yeah, I play Guitar Hero.
You know at least one or two Rage Against the Machine songs from Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
Not off the top of my head,
yeah.
I don't. But I'm glad you guys are bonding over this. Keep going.
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah, I mean, really, I also found myself really drawn to like the rhythm guitar players as well as the lead guys. So like Tom Morello, you know, and like the riffs from James Hetfield and Metallica, or Dimebag Darrell and Pantera, just all kinds of the guys that could write the cool riffs. It was like, that's really where it's at.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man.
That's awesome. So how did you shift from that to what you're doing now into this kind of more rhythmic, where it's kind of the both and it's the rhythm and the lead, like on acoustic guitar?
Yeah, well, going back just a minute to that first guitar that I had was a nylon string guitar, so you can't really play Metallica or Rage Against the Machine on that. So when I first got that guitar, I was like, well, what can you play on this kind of thing? What's more sounds appropriate or whatever. And I remember the tune Dust in the Wind from Kansas, and I was like, oh, maybe that's a tune I should try to learn on this.
Another group from Topeka, right?
That's totally, yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, the guy that wrote it, Kerry Livgren, still lives here.
Yeah.
So
if you know him, by the
cool.
way, I've been trying to get him on too. So.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I think I know how to get a hold of him.
Okay.
So.
Let's go. My plan is working. Let's go.
Yeah. So, but that tune is finger picked. You don't play it with a guitar pick. So I was just trying to get started with that, and I had a cousin who went to Washburn here across the street, and he took some classical guitar lessons, and so he'd be like, hey, you want to learn these duets together, these Bach duets we could try to play? And
Whoa.
So starting to try to learn some more classical guitar type stuff. But, it was kind of on the side. I was really trying to do the electric thing there for a minute, but seeing Preston Reed, do the workshop here, and he was using different guitar tunings, so you change the pitch of the strings, so all the chords that you normally know don't work anymore, but you've got this new sort of palette to paint with. That's like I like to think of it. So I like to use
cool.
altered tunings, on the guitar as well. And so I tried to learn a bunch of his tunes and some other players that I started to find in the fingerstyle world, and got me going.
What are some of your favorite alternate tunings? We're really branching out, I think, away from Justin.
Yeah, don't forget too geeky for people that aren't guitar players or anything. But yes, one of my that I've used in a few tunes is Dadgad. It's kind of a common altered tuning. That's just the names.
Like open D or whatever.
It's close to open D.
Okay, it's not exactly.
An open D would have an F sharp on the third string. This one has a G, so it's technically a D suspended fourth chord, but it's
write that one down.
Yeah, write that down. Dadgad, my favorite.
Yep. It's a cool tuning. I wrote actually one of my tune that really went viral and launched my career in a big way on YouTube. A tune called Drifting is in Dadgad.
Yeah. Okay.
But another one that's kind of unique to me that I invented is ECDGAD from Low to High. And I wrote a couple of my other tunes that were pretty big on YouTube on that. For My Father and Rylan are both in that tune.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's
Speaking
awesome.
of YouTube, you have immersed quite the following on YouTube. How did you first get into YouTube? When did you start posting content, and what's that kind of been like?
Yeah, man. So that was back in 2006 was when the first videos of mine went on there. And at that time, I was with this new independent record label out of Milwaukee called CandyRat Records was the name. And they were focused in this kind of guitar playing. They were really into it. So they had this idea. I had just released an album with them called Art of Motion. And they're like, let's use this new platform called YouTube to see if we can get some new fans or whatever. I was like, okay. So I was on the road at that time and had some days off in Milwaukee, so that we shot about 10 videos or something in one day, something like that. Yeah. And, he started to put them up. And when I came back home here to Topeka, I was teaching guitar lessons at that time at a music store called Steam Music. And I think I had a student that missed his lesson, so I was just chilling at the front desk and got on the computer and went to YouTube, and I saw that Drifting was like on the front page of YouTube. And back then it was completely different. Nowadays it's all kind of tailored to whatever you might like, the algorithm or whatever. Yeah. Back then though, they were just like, oh, here's what's trending right now. And
wow.
Like, what? It's on the front page. And
that's crazy.
Yeah. I was like, called the guy at the label and was like, man, go to YouTube, man. And Drifting's on the front page. And it just took off. And They had it like on CNN. I was on.
Whoa.
Gosh, who was that?
Super cool.
The guy that did the New Year's stuff. Oh, Carson Daly.
Yeah,
I went and did the Carson Daly show. You know, it was just
That's wild.
never would have imagined all this
So
stuff.
you're saying this isn't the first interview, the biggest interview you've ever done?
I mean, I think all of those are really building to this moment.
Yes.
It's culminating. Your career is culminating right here.
I don't know if you know this, Andy, but right now you're speaking in front of 196 subscribers that we have.
That's right.
That's all good, man. No, man, I enjoy getting to talk to people about.
They're
this stuff,
dedicated, though.
Oh, they're very dedicated.
Dedicated.
Very dedicated.
4 of them play guitar.
That's right. 4 of them know what you meant when you were talking about the tunings.
Right.
That's funny.
Yeah, man. So, but to be honest, when all that stuff started to blow up, I didn't really pursue or chase the online thing that much. It wasn't really at that time even like something that you would think would be like a job, or something, or like a way to make money. They didn't even have monetization on YouTube at that time. So I was just, like, oh man, well now it's time to go do shows. So
yeah,
that's really been kind of my focus ever since, is performing.
What are some of your biggest YouTube videos that have with the most views that you have?
Drifting is the biggest one. It's got like 61 or 2 million, something like that.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's nuts, man. And not far behind that is probably Africa. We were talking about that earlier.
That's right.
Cover of
Yeah.
Africa.
Oh yeah. I know that song.
And probably Rylan and For My Father and Into the Ocean. I play this kind of unusual instrument called a harp guitar as well.
I saw that when I was stalking you preparing for this. I was like, I don't know what that is, but
pretty visually. Captures your attention, but so that one's had quite a few views too. But
wow.
So can you break down maybe for our non-musical followers? You play a style of guitar where you're playing the lead and the melody at the same time.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Well, maybe a good way to think about it is like a piano player, who has usually chords and a melody at the same time. So that's what I'm trying to do with my tunes as well. Just have a sort of full piece of music there on the guitar. So, chords are when you have 3 or more notes at the same time, and then the melody is sort of what you think of on Jingle Bells. When you're singing Jingle Bells, that's the melody. So you have something that stands out as the melody, and then the accompaniment stuff as the chordal stuff.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I like to use the guitar body as a rhythmic or a percussive instrument. So it's a hollow, body, so you've got sort of a drum there, and you can get different tones, kind of a bass drum or a clap sound or a snare kind of, or sometimes if I'm not getting too wild with the percussive stuff, sometimes I'll just use the guitar strings as a kind of a click sound. You can kind of hit them with your thumb and get this click when the strings hit the fret wire. Makes a click sound.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I remember my freshman, we were talking about this off air, but my freshman year at KU was 2006. I didn't realize was the year you started posting. My just a good friend introduced me to some of your stuff on YouTube. He's like, dude, you got to listen to this guy. It's crazy. And I was just like a year or 2 into getting into guitar, and kind of what you were describing earlier about like getting into like, the 80s metal riffs. Like I was learning all of those my freshman year. I was learning Crazy Train and learning, that I would never learn sweep picking. I can't even do that. Getting halfway through the Crazy Train solo, I was like, this is where I'm done. I will not do any more of this. But then he showed us your stuff, and at first we're like, maybe we could learn that. And it was like, I don't think so. I don't think we're ready for that yet. But we listened to a lot of your stuff, and there's some other guys kind of with a sort of similar vibe that kind of came out around that. But man, it was really, really cool, man. It really inspired just kind of our guitar playing and just like interest in music and, things like that, which is really fun.
Thank you, man. Well, it's been an honor of my life to be able to, inspire people or, have people tell me that kind of thing, because I still get inspiration from all my heroes, and I know what that feels like.
Yeah.
So to be able to do that for people is awesome, man.
Who are some of your heroes in the music world?
Well, I started out with the electric thing, and so I mentioned Eric Johnson. I still love his playing, and we've got to tour together. Since then. And
is he the coasts of something?
Cliffs of Dover.
Cliffs of Dover. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah,
it's
Cliffs
another Guitar Hero song.
Yep, you're right.
That's awesome.
Yep, yep, you're very right.
It's like, I think it's known as like one of the hardest songs on Guitar Hero, I think. But,
yeah, it is. Yep. I was actually at David Buster's down in Phoenix, tried to play that with my friend. We did let's try and do Close the Door. Failed.
Yeah.
But
professional guitar player.
Yeah, can't do it. But yeah, man. So I still love his music, his playing. John Petrucci from Dream Theater's big influence. Joe Satriani. But you know, when I got into the acoustic thing, that was really where I found my passion, I think, the most. And so Preston Reed's a big influence, the guy I saw here in town, you know. And my biggest musical influence as far as the guitar is a guy named Michael Hedges is his name.
Okay.
Yeah, he grew up in Enid, Oklahoma, and just revolutionized acoustic guitar in the early 80s. Doing, you know, the stuff that I do, it's all inspired by him, you know, in a big way.
Wow.
So using altered tunings and different techniques to compose solo guitar music. And yeah, he was like the Jimi Hendrix of acoustic guitar. Wow. It's a really good way to think of it.
Is he still like doing stuff?
He passed away, sadly, in 1997 in a car crash.
Oh, wow.
But that was the year I discovered his music. And
man. So you never got to meet him or anything?
No,
Dang.
but I've met all of his family.
Wow.
It's been cool to have that connection. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so you brought up Guitar Hero. I feel like I have to ask this question as a non-musical guy. I know enough to be dangerous, John, but does Guitar Hero or playing the guitar, is there any overlap there? Like, you know, you're being a professional guitar player, like you're good at Guitar Hero? Or is that like, no?
I actually, we used to play Rock Band, which was kind of the same, real similar.
Yeah.
But I would always play the drums on it. I loved the drums, you know, and that was really the first instrument I wanted to play as a little kid. But anyway, I think there's a little bit of crossover because your sense of timing is the main thing, you know, but you've only got 4 or 5 buttons down there.
Yeah.
So it's kind of limited in that sense, but just your ability to play on time, which is hugely important.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people get all into the fast stuff or complicated things, but if you can't play on time, right, then who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's good. That's a good thing.
That's amazing. Do you feel like if someone were to get really good at Guitar Hero with no actual musical knowledge or skill, does that translate into like, could they learn guitar more quickly than the average person? Just off the top of your head, what's your impulse?
Your gut answer.
Yeah.
No, not necessarily.
No, okay.
I don't know if it really translates that much. I mean, just that feeling of timing, you'll have that a bit, hopefully.
Yeah.
But, you know, playing with actually holding down strings, you know, that's kind of tough at first. Your fingers like, you're getting all hurt trying to hold down the strings and all. And so that, you know, all that stuff takes time and getting comfortable with it. So I think it's the same for everybody.
Yeah.
If you had to, if someone was wanting to learn to play the guitar, just getting going, or maybe they have a kid who wants to learn how to play, what kind of piece of advice would you give how to get started?
Well, I used to teach for a decade, you know, from the time I was 17 till 27. So, and I still think a good approach is kind of, you know, what kind of music do you like? Let's try to learn something that you like, you know, because I think a lot of times kids and people in general just might get bored with it if you're sitting there. Let's do scales, or here's you know, let's do something musical. Yeah. And what do you like? Yeah. And let's learn that song. You know, so that was what I used to do a lot of, and we would also have you know, books as well. Like here's a bunch of chords, or if we want to get into jazz, you know, or whatever. But I would also intersperse, like, let's learn a new tune and see what they're doing in it, and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay. So that's a great question. My oldest is 7, and we're starting to teach him some things. He was doing piano lessons, and we have a ukulele that he's learning to kind of do. And I remember back when I was taking piano lessons as a kid, it was just brutal being like, you know, kind of forced to sit there and like learn all the notes and, you know, the staff and all of that stuff, which is, I feel like, generally is helpful. Like, you do want to understand how music works, but it's not the most fun to learn as a 7-year-old. Yeah. What have you seen helps? Is it just kind of like, hey, at least if, you know, 50% of it is you're learning something you actually really like, then that kind of carries over? Yeah. Is that kind of what you're saying? That
but you
still
like
have to just kind of dig in for the annoying stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Like learning, you know, chord construction, or, you know, different scales, like what notes out of this scale make that chord. That kind of theory stuff is good to teach along the way. And so, but you mentioned the staff. Actually, I can't really read music that well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't need, that's not necessary.
Not really.
Unnecessary skill.
For playing the guitar.
Yeah.
But piano would maybe be.
Piano and stuff. Yeah. Maybe the guitar. It just depends on what you're going to go after.
What your goals are,
you want to play, like be a studio musician where you could just sit down with anybody and they put music in front of you and you can just boom. I mean, I can't do that. I'd be like, give me an hour or two, or tomorrow I'll come back and I can actually get through this thing, because I can't just sit there and be like,
yeah.
So, but if you just have a passion for it or something, and you just, I just wanted to learn how to play so many tunes. That was a big thing for me early on. Like if I could learn how to play Cliffs of Dover or, whatever, Crazy Train. That would just
through fire and flames.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm too old for that.
Do you do any vocal stuff, or is it just instrumental?
I don't yet. I don't know if I ever will, but I tend to really focus on the guitar thing so much, and like I said too, I've always just loved instrumental music, and something about the power of, to me, the way I feel it, it's just almost magical. Something you're like, why do I have this feeling about? Building up in me just hearing this music. There's no words telling me anything. It's just there's something,
a feeling,
the sound, with this sound, there's a feeling. I love that, and so I kind of focused on that the whole time.
Yeah, that's so cool. Wow, I want to get more nerdy, but I don't think we should. We've already gone too nerdy.
Thank goodness.
I have more musical questions, but I think I'll just wait. Man, so tell us what it was like. As a young guy in 2006, you're kind of blowing up. What did that feel like? What was that experience like? It sounds like you were already kind of touring by that point. Like, what did that change about your career?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Sure. So that's 2006. Yeah. I released my first album in 2001, and it was just, I was teaching guitar here, and the guy at the front counter was like, you should really record some of those original tunes you're doing. And so I did that. And I would play here in town at the coffee shops like World Cup or Classic Bean, and would play at St. Gregory's downtown every other Wednesday, stuff like that. But I didn't really know what to do exactly, how I could maybe get a career going. I tried a international fingerstyle guitar championship that's held in Winfield, Kansas.
It's a big bluegrass. Is that like that? That festival?
Yep. Yeah, there's this really big bluegrass festival there. But they have all these championships for sort of bluegrass type instruments. They got auto harp and fiddle and mandolin and banjo, and they got flat pick guitar and finger picking guitar. So I thought I'd try that out. I got third place in the year 2001. And that was, kind of cool. I won a nice guitar and put that on my website, and had that album released finally. And then, I still was really just teaching guitar, private lessons was my main thing for a long time, but I would occasionally get these opportunities. And I went and toured in Taiwan in 2004, I think was the first time.
Wow.
Yeah, the guy heard about me there, and so I was like, I got to get a passport. Like, I've never even been out of Topeka hardly. I'm going to Taiwan.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that was a real trip. And then I also ended up trying this guitar competition in Canada called the Canadian Guitar Festival, and they had this similar fingerstyle guitar championship thing, and I did well there. And one of the judges at that was one of my biggest influences, a guy named Don Ross, great acoustic guitar player from Canada. So he really liked what I was up to, and he said, you want to come up to Canada and open shows and do stuff with me?
Wow.
Like, sure. So that was like 2004 and 5, and that was when this record label heard about me, CandyRat, and we shot those videos. But still, all those little things were just kind of little opportunities that pop up. But I was just coming back home, teaching guitar lessons. I was still living with my mom, and trying to figure life out a bit. But when the stuff started to blow up like that, suddenly, it was Josh Groban wanted me on his Christmas album.
Whoa.
Yeah,
cool.
that was an album called Noel.
So you're on it.
Yeah. They wanted me to play on Little Drummer Boy.
Come on. Oh, that makes sense.
Yep, doing percussive stuff on the guitar.
Yeah. Little drumming guitar playing boy.
Yeah. That was cool. One thing that was a little bit of a bummer about that is they went on the Oprah Winfrey show later, and they had some guy acting like he was playing my parts rather than calling me out. I know.
You're like, dude, I would meet you there.
Dude, I'll buy my flight.
Yeah,
come on.
Dang it.
So that was a bit of a bummer, but
so he wasn't even playing. He was pretending.
He was pretending to play. Yeah, totally. I think it's still on YouTube somewhere. But
that's brutal.
I was like, bro. But no, that was still the opportunity was super cool. I actually played with Prince.
What?
Yeah, he wanted me to start at the end of the stage, play some guitar, and then start walking forward. And I was going to have this 50-foot cape. Yeah, and on the back they were going to project like flames and the universe and stars and all this stuff, and then I would go off under the stage, and then the band would start, something like that. But I didn't end up doing that. I felt like really weird about wearing this huge cape, but. What they did do is like bring me up on an elevator though and just play some acoustic Purple Rain, and then went down. And
was the cape? It was your veto, or they were just hey?
I was like, this is too much for me, man. I'm too down to earth.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah, and at the end, I felt like it just wasn't even a very good fit. And I told him, like, if you ever want to do like an acoustic album or something where like Purple Rain, or like a whole album of your tunes where it's acoustic and you sing over, or something like that, maybe that I would be a better fit,
Yeah.
And I just figured I'd never hear from him again. But it was in December before he passed away, like 4 months later, I got another email talking about doing that. And
wow.
Never did.
Because he's a really good guitar player too, right?
Incredible. Yeah. Everything, man. He really, during the concert, he could go to any instrument and just crazy. Unbelievable.
Wow.
Super talented, creative,
Yeah.
It's cool.
Wow, it's really cool.
I got like a manager and a booking agent, and just been doing it ever since, ended up, marrying my girlfriend who I had at that time. We're still together, got two boys and stuff, and she's been with me through the whole thing,
Wow.
Yeah.
Shoot, I just go and do shows that get booked and come on back home to Topeka, and it's been great, man. And I've always wanted to have a good family life thing too. Yeah. So balancing the rock star or whatever thing, trying to be in the public eye and all that, but then also just come home and disappear and make lunch for the kids before they go to get on the bus.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love all that.
Wow, I imagine being a full-time musician wasn't always, you decided to do it and, you hit it big, and it's always been great. Walk us through maybe if you have any advice or your experience. I'm sure it wasn't easy. Probably days where you felt like quitting, or I need to go get a real job. And, but then, making it, what was that experience like? Do you have any advice for musicians out there trying to make it?
Put videos on YouTube. No. Yeah, that's it. No.
Find new up and coming social media platforms.
Right. Yeah. Get in early.
Yeah.
No. But I was fortunate that my mom was supportive, and like I said, I was living with her for a while there, trying to figure out what I was going to do, because I didn't. I thought I was going to go to KU and maybe do music, but they didn't really have a guitar program so much. It was really just like, if you want to do some guitar lessons, you couldn't major in guitar. So I was like, oh, shoot. So I came back home and started teaching the lessons again. And, I didn't know exactly what was going to happen, with me and music, but I knew that I had to really do something with music, whether it was just teaching lessons here at music stores for the rest of my life, and hopefully my wife gets a decent job or something, or what.
She's a brain surgeon and I play guitar.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But, but I was definitely trying to take opportunities wherever I could. These guitar competition things, which, helped at least one of the main things I got out of that was just connections from other guitar players.
Yeah.
Like, making friends that I still have to this day. And we sometimes do shows together. I got a friend up in Canada named Antoine Dufour. He organizes a festival now up there, a guitar festival, and played at that a couple times. So, just trying to make connections but I guess the main thing above all of it, though, is if you're going to try to have a career in music, original music, you just got to stay focused on, saying something with your music. And if it resonates with you, it'll probably resonate with other people in some way. And just try to be persistent and take all the chances you can.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So what's it like now in terms of your career? Have you kind of pulled back and slowed down a little bit, like with your family and things, or are you still kind of running pretty hard?
Yeah. I mean, ever since I had kids, which my oldest son now is 14, I kind of eased up a little bit. I just told my agency back then, like, I really don't know if I want to be on the road for longer than a couple weeks at a time. Like, you can go out a couple weeks on the West Coast or wherever. I'll make some exceptions on that, though. Like if we're going to Europe or something, because you don't want to go all the way there for 2 weeks and then just then go back again for 2 weeks. Yeah. So I'm
just got over jet lag. Now you're going home.
Yeah, right. So I've actually here this month, or not this month, this year in the spring, I'll be heading over there for about a month, doing some shows in Italy, Ireland, Germany, and the UK.
What kinds of shows are those? Like, what does that look like?
It's I usually play, kind of not huge theaters, but like maybe 200 or 300 seats. I just heard this morning that the show in Cologne, Germany sold out. So that was
Let's
great.
go.
Oh, heck yeah.
That's awesome. Are you generally playing with a few other musicians as well, or?
It's just me.
Okay, come on.
Yeah, just doing my solo acoustic thing.
Dang, man. The Andy McKee headline tour.
Yeah, dude. That's really what I've mostly done, man. Like an evening with Andy McKee type thing. So it's like 2 hours of me doing my thing, with a break in the middle.
Are you talking as well?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're interacting.
Totally. Yeah. So as I mentioned, I like to use these altered tunings. So I'm in between songs. I'm like, and so it's like, I've got to say something here. I don't want to just be tuning the guitar. People are like, this is boring. So I've usually got, some stories about the songs, or, if something might have happened that day that's kind of funny, try to bring it up on stage or whatever.
Have you had to so like a lot of your life has been practicing the instrument. Have you had to kind of work on like stage presence and crowd interaction and stuff like that too? Definitely. What's that been like?
Well, that was those early years here in Topeka, man, just doing these coffee shop things. I had played with, some of the friends in high school, like I said, at Battle of the Bands or little shows and here and there. But you've kind of got a group entity on stage and going to like, I'm just alone up here. What am I gonna do? But I've always tried to be fairly charismatic or funny or whatever, talkative with people, and so try to do that on stage too. The whole trying to relate to people thing, I think, is a big part of my music. Even just finding the humanity that we all share, and so I just try to talk that way too on stage. But it was kind of I was pretty quiet some of those early shows for sure, just going through the tunes.
When you're doing a tour or show like that, is there a percentage of the songs you're playing that are originals versus covers? Are they all originals? What does that split look like?
It's mostly originals. I've done a few arrangements, like some of the 80s tunes. I do a Tears for Fears tune. Everybody Wants to Rule the World. I did that arrangement for that.
Oh, that's cool.
Africa. And but sometimes I'll do covers of the players that inspired me, who I've mentioned on the show here too. It was funny, having my thing blow up, and maybe even a new generation of people, seeing this kind of style for the first time. And so I feel a bit of a responsibility to say, well, you should also know about Michael Hedges. Here's one of his tunes.
Yeah,
it's
cool.
Yeah.
You should know about Don Ross. Here's one of his. So I'll do a few like that too. But probably, 75% of it's my original stuff.
Yeah.
Do you have any jokes that just slap every time, no matter where you're at?
Oh, yeah. It's probably gotten so old. People are like, here he is with that joke again. But I still sometimes pull it out. Like I wrote a song and didn't know what to call it. My sister had walked by and heard me playing it, and she said, "Hey, what do you call that?" And I'm like, "I don't have a title yet." She's my older sister, and she was like, "Well, that's pretty cool. Why don't you dedicate it to me and just title it after me?" It's pretty arrogant. Isn't it? So I decided to call it Heather's Song, and but then I'm like, "Yeah, but her name's Sarah." So that one usually gets a good laugh, but yeah.
Wait, is her name actually Heather?
Her name is Heather, though.
Oh, okay,
That's funny. She's pretty cool. She got me into Iron Maiden when I was like 7 years old. So
that's awesome.
I owe her a tune, I guess.
That would be hilarious. Just name it after some random.
Yeah.
You should name it after me. Sure. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
We'll see.
Maybe switching a little bit to Topeka, because you still live here. You have family here. You said you're up in the Seaman district.
Yeah.
What's kept you here? I mean, if you've been all over the world, is there a reason why you decided to stay?
Yeah, I mean,
Thinking about a move? Choose Topeka and you could get up to $15,000 to relocate.
Whether buying or renting, Topeka and Shawnee County are ready to welcome you. Apply now at choosetopeka.com. Now, back to the show.
probably the biggest component of that is like family. Like I love my mom and brother, and they're both still here. My sister's over in Kansas City, so not too far away.
Yeah.
My brother and I, we get together every weekend and play disc golf. You know?
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we love to do that.
Come on.
Yeah, a lot of fun, and so we're real tight. And it would just be tough to be like, oh, I'm not going to see him every weekend. You know,
Right.
We're just close like that. My wife's family is here too. So you know, we're just stuck around. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's
cool. Do you have a favorite disc golf course in Topeka?
Crestview, I think. It's just kind of a classic. We used to drive by it as kids, and we see people throwing these discs like super far. Like, see how far that guy just threw that frisbee?
Yeah.
And so my brother's really, really into it. He's way better than I am, and I seem to have stopped progress like 20 years ago. Still like one over par. But Crestview's fun. I like the variety of the course there.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
When you think of all the places you've been, you know, where you're traveling from, what do you like about Topeka? What brings you here? And you're like, I really love this about my hometown.
I mean, it's pretty laid back, and it's got a lot of amenities. It's not too small. It's not too big. You know, sometimes I go to big cities and you're like in traffic for 2 hours trying to get somewhere, and it's like I could never be in this situation. I would lose my mind. You know, it's I like that, and it's got kind of everything you might want. You know, don't feel like I'm looking for anything outside of what's here. So
traffic is the number one thing I hear of when I have so I work as a full-time realtor, and when someone's relocating here, that's the number one thing they always say is like, I need to be within 25 minutes, 35 minutes, 45 minutes of my work. Yeah. Where can I live? And I'm like,
literally anywhere.
You know, here's the big circle, you know, all the way to Lawrence. You know, you can live wherever you want.
35 minutes away, you can live in Lawrence.
Yes, and they're blown away.
Way out in the country if you want.
Yeah, they're blown away because they're coming from a big metro or something, and you know, it takes an hour to get across town during a traffic time or whatnot, and it's like we don't really have that here. Yeah, and we kind of take it for granted.
Yeah, it is nice.
It's very true. Sometimes the construction stuff's been slowing us down lately.
Yeah,
but
yes, it does.
They're getting that through. I live up north, and they just opened up 46, which has been good because that's kind of it's kind of our main thoroughfare to get onto the highway there, and so that's been nice. And they got a new roundabout, and so it's a lot smoother.
That roundabout was shut down for a while.
Yeah, it was, man. It was 9 months or something like that. But hey, these things take time.
I had a friend who lived right like a mile from that roundabout, and getting to his house was difficult.
Yeah. It's been tricky, but they're getting stuff opened up again.
That's awesome.
It's good.
Come on, man. Well, let's do it. So you brought your guitar.
Yeah.
I see something over there. What is that?
Yes.
Do you want to just tell us about it first? Like, is this a special kind of guitar?
It is, man. I'm glad you asked that. Yeah. This is my signature guitar, in fact.
Is it?
Yeah. So, I had mentioned the Canadian Guitar Festival earlier, and I met a luthier, is what you call a person that builds guitars. There was a few luthiers showing their guitars, and I saw this guy. His name's Michael Greenfield. He had his guitars on display, and I was like, that looks like a work of art. That doesn't look like a regular guitar off the shelf there, man. That looks really incredible. And I played it. I was just blown away. But then I looked at the price tag too, and I was like, okay, well, I'm a guitar teacher in Topeka. I'm never going to have one of these.
American dream.
Someday. But, that was like 2004. And so, a few years later, career started to pick up. We got in touch again, and I've been playing his guitars since about 2008. And so just a few years ago, we collaborated and made the signature guitar.
Wow.
So it's a jumbo size, so it's kind of bigger than a normal guitar. A normal sort of shape that most people think of as a dreadnought is what you call that shape for a guitar, acoustic guitar. And so this one has a really big kind of lower bout, which is like the lower half down there, which helps with the response of the bass and having that kind of warmth. And it also has slightly fanned frets on it.
Yeah, that's cool.
I noticed that.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if my eyes were tripping.
Right. Yeah. So that's an idea that a guy named Ralph Novaks came up with to help help with intonation. That's what is what you call when you're in tune up and down the entire fretboard. So sometimes you might be sounding perfectly in tune here, but then when you get up to say the 9th fret or something, you might hear that G string sounds sharp or something a little bit. So, and that's because the normal guitars are equal temperament is what you call it. And so all the frets are straight and they're all the same like that. But what this one tries to do is you have the nut angled this way and then the bridge angled that way. So you have a longer scale length for the bass strings and then a shorter scale length as you get over to the first string. And that's more appropriate for the pitch that it's tuned to. So like if you open up a piano, you see the bass strings are like, whoa, super long.
Yeah.
And then the treble strings are short, or a harp or any instrument really with strings. So this tries to emulate that, having the right scale length, and then it's more in tune everywhere on the fretboard.
Wow.
I'm nodding my head like I'm understanding all of this.
That's cool.
Yes, Andy, yes.
Getting all in depth there, man. But yeah, so that's what the fan fret thing is. So it's supposed to help with the intonation. And it's got Macassar ebony back and sides, real beautiful and great sound. And so, yeah.
So the style of music you play, could you play that on a standard dreadnought style guitar?
Oh, yeah.
That's still conducive?
Yeah. I would just have a different, tone to it by the body shape. And then, the back and sides, the type of woods you use, all those things affect the sound, of course.
Okay.
But you can play it on any old guitar. My first real steel string guitar was a 12-string that we got. And we took off 6 of the high string ones, and I would play it like a regular 6-string guitar. But that was what I started on. And you can play this stuff on anything.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, what are you gonna play for us today, man?
Okay, man. Well, I figured I might as well play you Drifting. It was the big viral hit for me, and I wrote it. I think I was either 18 or 19 here in Topeka, and living with my mom and trying to figure out what was up with my life. And actually, that's where the title came from. I didn't know my direction, so that's where the title Drifting came from.
Yeah. So you wrote this when you were 18, 19, and it had 61 million views on YouTube?
It does now, yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, 2006 is when it went up and started to climb the charts there.
People pay to listen to this, John. We're getting a treat here.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
I'll send you a bill.
For whatever the YouTube equivalent of 61 million views is.
All right,
Cool.
man.
The stage is yours.
All right.
Wow.
Dude, that was amazing. Wow.
Holy smokes, man.
Dude, so good.
I'm telling you right
That's
now,
nice.
if someone's listening to this episode, they need to hop on over to YouTube and re-listen and watch what you just did.
Yes, yeah. Oh, man.
Listening to that does not give it justice to what you just did.
Watching it is incredible.
Thank you.
Dude.
Thanks, man.
Holy
It's kind of wild seeing it this close, too.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's really different.
That's a
It's
guitar.
so cool.
I know how to play the guitar. Not that. What you just did is not playing the guitar. You were doing things I didn't even know that instrument can make the noises
Yeah.
of.
Seriously.
Yeah, man. Well, we
So
were
wild.
talking about that earlier a little bit, and it's really just a different way, you know. I mean, it's it looks really hard. I mean, it's got some difficulty to it, but it's just it's such a different way of playing, I guess. You know, you're doing these hammer-ons and taps and harmonics and things. But you know, that feeling is what I had when I saw Preston Reed. I was just like, what on earth?
Yeah.
You know, I got to figure out whatever that is. And
Wow.
pursue that and try to
Holy smokes.
follow that path a bit. You know,
That is a whole nother level of playing the guitar. You know, someone's like, "Oh, I play the guitar." No, you don't. You know, that's insane.
Yeah, you know, and hearing it acoustically, like you guys are saying too, what's special about that is you can hear the dynamics and the you know, if you play something quietly or hit it harder, you know, there's just so much control you have when you're playing fingerstyle, you know, over the expression of every note. You know, that's another thing that drew me to it. So.
How do you try to ask this in a way that isn't too like in the weeds, but you're not just playing like standard guitar chords you learn in a book. You know, obviously you're playing some different tunings and things. You're not just learning like, you know, this is G and D and I can play Wonderwall now, you know, like, how did you like gain the understanding to build what you just did? Like, like the chord structures and things like that. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Well, that goes back to the altered tunings and how, for me, what I really like about it is a couple of things. One is that you suddenly have these new chord voicings possible, just new textures, you know, things you couldn't play in a standard tune guitar. But also what I really like about it is that you're almost resetting your brain to beginner in a way, which sounds counterproductive. But since you don't know, like this is a C chord, right? Well, it's not anymore. It sounds like this. Yeah, it doesn't work.
Right.
So you're exploring, you're using this like explorer type brain.
Right.
What can I find here? You know, like this, you know, these different chords. Or where are these things? And I always like the sound of open strings as well, you know.
Yeah.
So the altered tunings lend themselves to that, and then these harmonics, you know. I like to do these slap harmonics you saw there. So that's just creating a harmonic by hitting it at a harmonic node. These different kinds of sounds.
So a lot of it is just exploring, figuring it out just by ear, what sounds good.
Yeah.
That sounds nice. I like that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Every piece of music I've ever written was made that way. Really.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't like, okay, I want to play a C chord and then a G. It was just like, what am I feeling? And if I hear something in my head, like melodically, find that. But it usually begins with just exploring around and then finding something interesting, and then I would build that into something.
And so you wrote that when you were 18.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Justin, there's got to be like a leadership principle in there somewhere that translates, like something about like getting beyond what you know and are comfortable with, and just kind of like exploring and trying things. And you know what I'm saying? Like there's something there, like getting kind of, I don't know, maybe, you know, beyond kind of brain plasticity.
Here,
and, it's like trying new things. Yeah.
You don't learn how to do that by reading about it.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
just
come on.
have to practice.
There it
You
is.
just have to do it. I always think about that in a correlation like push-ups. How do you get better at push-ups? Not reading about them.
Right.
Not talking to people who are really
Yeah.
good at it. You just do push-ups.
Yeah.
Same thing with that.
That's a good point, man. Yeah.
And that reminds me of a dear friend who I think will watch this, because he's the friend who showed me you when I was in college. So we're just gonna shamelessly call him out. We were really into skateboarding too at the time, and we were at the skate park in Lawrence, and he's like teaching a friend of ours how to ollie. And he's like, this is what you do. And he's like got his hands on the skateboard, you know, like you push here, you slide your foot up. And the friend's like, okay, I think I get it. Can you just like do it for me? And my friend's like, well, I can't do it. He was like, I understand how it works. But I can't do it. You know, it's like, no, you gotta just get in there and try stuff. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. It's cool.
Well, I think I would be mad at myself if I didn't ask you to do this. Can you, Gabe, can we move that back over? Could you do Africa for us and show the audience what you mean by the lead versus the melody? Because I totally saw your Africa video online and I know exactly what you mean, but I didn't at first. I think that's really cool.
Sure. Yeah. Let me grab I need a capo here.
Oh, yes. See, at my extent of playing the guitar is I know 6 to 8 chords. And when I was introduced to the capo, it changed my world. It's like, oh my gosh, I can do so much more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to use capo sometimes. I've actually got a banjo capo in there.
Oh.
So what I like to do with that is just cover some of the strings and then have some open and do some different stuff like that.
Wow.
Speaking of that, though, shamelessly plug this company. These are Shub capos that I like to use, and I was just at the NAMM convention yesterday in the last weekend, and we're gonna do a signature capo, custom McKee capo.
Oh, that's cool.
We're incorporating actually Kansas stuff into the capo. We're gonna have on the bottom here like the river, like maybe Kansas River here.
Yeah,
cool.
And then a sunflower with some petals going under the river, and the stem of the sunflower turns into a treble clef.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Who designs that? Like, is there an artist you're working with or something?
They actually have some different artists on staff, I guess. You know, and they made these mock-ups, and I was like, man, that looks awesome. I love that idea. Wow. And I've got a little logo which they'll put like on this little button.
Sweet.
So
Heck
pretty cool. Yeah. So Africa from Toto, that was something that I wanted to do early on. I think it was on my 2004 album, and I'd heard people do solo guitar arrangements of like Beatles tunes and things, but I kind of grew up as a kid listening to 80s music, you know, so I just loved that. And I was practicing some percussive ideas on the guitar, and it just kind of accidentally did the rhythm. I was like, man, that kind of sounds like Africa.
Do you have perfect pitch?
No, pretty good relative pitch though. So like tuning, I can hear the vibration when it's gets together.
Yeah.
But if somebody just plays, I don't necessarily know what it is. But yeah, so you know, I'd had this like that intro rhythm. And I was like, okay, that's kind of like, you know, the Africa rhythm. And I had my guitar in Dadgad tuning at that time.
Dadgad,
and I put the capo on to get the right key. So I started out with like that, like and then I was coming over, and at the time I had Dadgad, so it was that note. So I'd had this bass note, and I thought, well, I can hit these two at the same time because they're the same pitch, like octave different. And then I tuned the A on the fifth string down to G, so I could get these two. Okay. I wrote out the rhythms, you know, and was like, where do they line up?
That's wild.
Trying to get it synced up. And then there was that little keyboard pattern of like 5 notes. I was like, what is that? I was just listening to it over and over, trying to hear the notes. It's these 5 notes, and you just kind of repeat them. You make that pattern. So then when the verse part came in, it was like, okay, I got to get that vocal melody since I don't sing and try to have the chords behind it.
Just casual.
Yeah, just like that. Like you do.
Just as one does.
okay, so then it's gonna go into the chorus, and it's like you got to have that energy, you know. You know, it's like, so how am I gonna get that? And I was like, I'm just gonna strum it, you know, and try and get those harmonies.
So you're getting the lead and the harmony.
Yeah, the vocal.
Two vocal parts and the guitar and the drum. This is crazy.
So.
So when I was looking at your YouTube page before this, I was watching this video that you did. You posted this 16 years ago. And so someone 10 years ago, 6 years later, they go, okay, step 1, learn guitar. Step 2, watch Andy do this cover. Step 3, look up the song tab. Step 4, smash the guitar in frustration because it's so hard. Quit and then just go get a job. I mean, if you're listening to this, that is not doing it justice. That is so cool.
Oh yeah. Seeing it in person and hear it in the room is really always pretty
Super
magical.
cool.
Yeah.
I think one of the. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say that the guys from Toto saw that kind of early on. And I got to become friends with Steve Lukather, the guitar player.
No way.
Yeah. We recorded on an album together called Six String Theory, which was Lee Rittenauer project. He's a great jazz guitarist, but we actually did a version of Drifting together.
No way.
And then Shape of My Heart by Sting, if you know that tune, we did a cover of that. But anyway, yeah.
Wow.
Been cool to become friends with those guys.
That's so cool. Yeah, Toto is iconic. It's so iconic.
Rosanna and Hold the Line. And so many good tunes.
Yeah, it's so good. One of the things I love about that song is it's obviously its own very unique style and rendition of the song, but you can just hear it in your mind as you're playing it. Yeah. And it's so faithful too. There's just the energy of it, you know?
Yeah, that's sometimes I teach a lot actually still. I have a guitar retreat that I do every year called Musicarium. And sometimes I'll talk about arranging, and it's like you really just want to capture the energy and the different parts, the iconic things that people are like, oh yeah, chorus, so like trying to get that energy in the chorus.
You can hear the guy singing it. Yeah, as you're playing, I can hear it. Oh, it's so good.
It took everything in me not to start singing it myself. I'm gonna ruin Andy's sound here.
Just want to get into it.
I almost started clapping. I'm like, he's already doing it.
It is such a great song too. Just on its own, Africa is such an incredible song.
It is, man. It's really incredible. Nothing like it. There's not another song that you're like, oh, that sounds like Africa.
There's not one song. It's so. I mean, they were so creative too. Yeah, and like, I don't know if they got enough credit for just the incredibly skilled musicians.
Yeah, they were all
Toto was
studio musicians. Your listener or watchers know, but yeah, they were all. There was 3 brothers in the group too. The Porcaro brothers were just the drummer. I mean, they were just unbelievable. Yeah, and Steve Lukather and David Paich, they wrote like Human Nature on Thriller. A lot of the Thriller is like Toto with Michael Jackson. That's pretty much that album. Yeah, so, yeah, all just unbelievable musicians.
Yeah, even like Rosanna, like on the surface sounds just kind of like a pop hit, but if you just listen to it, it is not a simple song. And it's not an easy song, like musically. Like there's a lot going on. Like you can tell these are skilled musicians. Yeah. Like it's wild.
The drumming is so cool on that drum shuffle that's on there. It's just so.
Yeah. After watching you play both Drifting and Africa, it felt like a stupid question that I asked him off air. I was like, do you play any other instruments? It's like, well, you percussion, you play 3 different versions of the guitar all at once. It's like, you're like, yeah, I dabble. I was like, oh, okay, he just plays the guitar. Sounds good. It's like, no.
Oh my gosh. I do. I dabble a bit with drums and keyboards and bass. But there's something about maybe I'm a control freak or something. There's just so much you're in control of when you're doing this fingerstyle thing. Every note, you can shape it, color it how you want. I love it. And you can get the melody and it's real special about the guitar is that you can manipulate the string in so many ways, as opposed to like a violin where you have a bow or, or a harp where you're not fretting stuff, with the guitar, you can do bends or, with the left hand or, with the right hand stuff, you can grab chords or you can play with a pick. It's just so much, so versatile.
A lot of options. Yeah. That's so cool. Man, well, thank you so much. That was incredible.
Certainly my pleasure, man. I love talking music and nice to be here, do something here with Topeka and I can talk about, classic Bean and people are like, oh yeah.
Absolutely.
If I'm doing an interview with like Guitar Player magazine or something, like they wouldn't know what that is.
It's
cool.
That's really cool to hear. I mean, those are places that I visit all the time. That's where you got your start. That's super cool.
Yeah, we like to kind of end with just some rapid fire, just life in Topeka, things you like, all that kind of stuff. So,
okay. Go-to date night in Topeka.
Go-to date night. I'm gonna say the Shack.
I like
Let's
it.
go. Yeah. What are you ordering at the Shack?
I got really into their wings. As far as like buffalo wings, like authentic buffalo flavor, they're the best for me. They're just incredible, man. And I've been to Buffalo.
Yeah.
Played there a few times. So, they're really good.
I don't think I've had the wings there. We'll have to try it next time.
A lot of people don't know.
Yeah.
They're really good.
All right. So you're a coffee guy.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite coffee place or a few?
I do. PT's is my classic go-to. Actually, I get a shipment every month from them. So and I actually have my own coffee even with a company called Acoustic Coffee. We just launched that.
I saw that.
Probably mentioned that, I guess.
Plug it a little bit.
Yeah.
What is that?
Well, it's a cool company called Acoustic Coffee, and they love acoustic guitar and they love coffee, and so they do a few brands with different players. Tommy Emmanuel, Joe Bonamassa got one, and I just got one this summer, and so
Do they play acoustic over the beans as they're being roasted?
Yeah, it gets infused into the beans.
Thing I've ever heard, John.
These beans are infused specifically with Andy McKee's music.
24 hours of Art of Motion on repeat.
How many potholes did you hit on your way over here?
Ooh, I think only 3. So,
there you go. Only 3.
Not too bad.
Only 3.
But they are like he knows. Like they were in his. He didn't have to think very hard.
Yeah.
He knew. Yeah, those were memorable 3 potholes. Do you have any favorite local? I mean, you basically hit up the Shack, but do you have any other favorite local restaurants or anything like that?
Let's see. Where else have we? Jong's Thai. Gosh, you guys done it?
I have never been.
90% of our guests say Jong's Thai. Yeah. And they're the only place I've reached out. I've probably, how many interviews have we done in the last year and a half? At least 50, 75 now. I don't know. What is that? No. 30, 35,
We're like
35.
40.
That's because you do every 2 weeks. My math is way off. So like 35 to 40. I have never been rejected. I've had people ghost me and just not respond when I'm trying to set up interviews and stuff. The only person to ever say, no, we're not interested is Jong's Thai Kitchen.
Oh, no. Really?
Well, I think it's because of language, maybe barrier, and just kind of some nerves. But we have a friend who knows them, and we're working on it.
Oh, man.
The joke is we're just going to bring our stuff and just go get dinner there sometime.
There you go.
Just show up.
Yeah. You just do it.
He'd be like, hey, what can I get you guys? Sit down for a second.
Actually, how many potholes did you hit on the way over here?
Yeah, I love that. And also Indian Bistro, I'll give a shout out. I'm really a fan of theirs too.
Love it. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Are you a golfer?
Disc golfer.
Disc golfer. Okay, you said your go-to course is Crestview.
Every Sunday, pretty much. Yeah.
Now they have multiple courses there, right? There's a couple of.
Yeah, there's one kind of in the woods along the creek a bit. I think it's Crestview East.
Do you play the woods one or do you play the open one?
The open one more.
I like that one too.
The open one is nice.
Yeah.
You can just rear back and just throw it, and you have no repercussions. That woods one, not great at that one. You got to
in a tree.
You actually have to be good to do that one.
Except for it's like one of the first couple holes. It's like right next to the baseball field. It's like technically out of bounds to go over the fence, which would be feels like it would be an easier throw. It's like bend it around, but it's like technically out of bounds.
Yeah, there's like a Mando sign. You have to go this way. I've ended up in that ball diamond like so many times, and then you got to walk all the way around and come get it.
Yeah, brutal, brutal. That's awesome, man. What?
I think that. Oh, we're missing one.
Yeah,
you're doing a home project.
Oh yes, here we go.
Home project.
Okay.
Home Depot, Menards, Lowe's.
Where are you going? I guess we tend to go to Home Depot more frequently.
My man. Let's go.
I mean, I like the blue of Lowe's though, and Menard's got some good ribs.
Well, ask one more question. See if
we have a running kind of feud, and I'm Team Home Depot. He's Team Menards.
we have a feud and a theory. Do you actually do home projects fairly?
Yeah, I do. In fact, man, I actually
let's go.
Yeah.
Our theory is that because it's probably 50-50 split people who go to Menards, Home Depot based on what we ask. But our theory is that the people who actually do home projects are the ones that go to Home Depot. The ones that like hire people to do home projects go to Menards.
So far, it's probably like 80-20 true.
Yeah, I think so.
Like it's pretty accurate, I think.
Yeah, my wife and I actually she does a lot of the research, and she just a lot of times we end up at Home Depot. So I don't really have any allegiance, but yeah, I replaced like 3 toilets and a dishwasher and a ceiling fan. Yeah,
Come on,
I'm kind of doing it. Yeah.
This is one of those things we were talking about this last time in our last episode that like I really didn't have like the strongest opinion about this. I was like a 5 out of 10 maybe on this. Maybe I'm probably slightly higher, maybe 6 out of 10 because I really don't like Menards.
Yeah.
But it's not that I'm like so pro Home Depot as much as I really just don't like going to Menards. But this feud has developed where like the battle lines are drawn now. Like I can't. This is now my official standing, for all time. So.
Whatever. Finally, get off me.
Pretty intense.
Finally, where can people find you at if they want to follow your music? If they want to, download, buy your stuff, where can they find you at?
They can find me on all the social media platforms. A lot of times it's under the real McKee. So Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. I've got my website, andymckee.com, tour dates and stuff on there. I don't play enough around here. I wish I did, like even Kansas City or Lawrence or something, but hopefully we'll get some more shows in the area soon. But those are the places. And you can find my music on Spotify and iTunes and whatever, all that stuff. So.
Heck yeah. Andy, thanks for being with us, man. It was such a treat.
This was
cool,
great.
Man.
So
my pleasure.
Cool.
Thanks for having me, man. Really.